Welcome to Whispers of the Night. Tonight, we invite you to a gentle journey into a world of quiet magic and hidden wonders. Our story is the teacup that held Starlight's secret. In this tale, you will follow the journey of a young woman discovering a delicate porcelain cup unlike any other. Within its fragile form lies a secreter shimmer of starlight that reflects the heart's quiet moments, memories, and emotions. As you listen, let yourself sink into the calm, letting the gentle glow of the teacup guide your thoughts. Feel the warmth of the magic, the soft hum of wonder, and the quiet beauty of emotions long hidden, now revealed. This is a story of reflection, trust, and the subtle magic of noticing the small, precious moments in life. The teacup that held Starlight's secret is an invitation to pause. Breathe and let the starlight within your heart shine softly, just as it shines within the cup. Relax, open your mind, and allow whispers of the night to guide you through this serene, luminous journey. The magic begins now. Take a deep breath and let your body settle into a comfortable position. Feel the weight of your body sinking gently into your chair, your bed, or the place you rest. Let your hands fall loosely by your sides and allow your eyes to close softly. Imagine a warm, gentle light surrounding you, soft and comforting, like the first glow of morning sunlight spilling through a window. Each breath you take draws in calm, and each exhale releases tension, letting it drift away like leaves on a quiet stream. Picture a quiet room bathed in this gentle light, where time slows and every sound feels soft and distant. The air is calm, carrying the faint scent of warmth and tranquility. Let your mind wander through this peaceful space, noticing the small details, the way shadows curve, the gentle glow of light on surfaces, the subtle rhythm of your own heartbeat. Imagine a delicate object in this calm room, something small yet filled with wonder. Focus on its presence without needing to name it. Notice the warmth it radiates, the quiet pulse that seems to echo your own breath. Each gentle shimmer or flicker invites you to look deeper, not outward, but inward, into the quiet spaces of your own thoughts and feelings. With every breath, feel the gentle light spreading through your body, softening your shoulders, releasing any tension in your back, your neck, your arms. Let it flow into your chest, filling you with warmth and ease, and continue down to your legs, your feet, until your whole body is enveloped in a calm, comforting glow. Notice your thoughts as they drift by, like clouds moving across a serene sky. There is no need to follow them, judge them, or hold on to them. Simply observe, letting each thought pass, returning your focus to the gentle light and the calm rhythm of your breath. Feel the quiet magic of being fully present. In this moment, in this calm space, there is nothing to do, nowhere to go, nothing to change. Just breathe and let the soft stillness fill you completely. If your mind begins to wander, gently bring it back to the warmth, the glow, the steady pulse of serenity around you. Let it remind you of the quiet beauty in stillness, the gentle peace in simply being. the soothing rhythm of calm flowing through every part of you. Allow yourself to sink even deeper into relaxation, imagining the soft light spreading beyond your body, touching everything around you with quiet warmth. Feel a gentle connection to the calm, a sense of safety and ease, as if the world itself has softened and paused just for you. Now, take a few more slow, deep breaths, savoring the sense of stillness and tranquility you have created. Carry this calm with you, letting it remain even after you open your eyes, as a gentle reminder of quiet, peace, and inner serenity. And when you are ready, slowly allow your awareness to return, stretching gently if you wish, bringing the calm and warmth of this moment with you as you continue your day or drift into restful sleep. The teacup that held Starlight's secret. The discovery Aria wandered through the quiet, lamplit streets of the old part of the city, her footsteps echoing softly against the cobblestones. The evening air was cool, carrying a faint scent of damp earth and autumn leaves, mingled with the distant aroma of baked bread from a nearby bakery. The streets were nearly empty, save for the occasional figure hurrying home, their shadows stretching long under the warm glow of antique lanterns. There was a comforting stillness in the air, a sense that the world was pausing just for her, and it made her chest swell with a soft, pleasant anticipation. She had no particular destination in mind, only the urge to wander, letting her curiosity guide her. That was how she had found herself in front of a narrow, almost hidden alleyway she had never noticed before. It was tucked between two brick buildings, their facades aged and charming, covered in climbing ivy that rustled softly in the gentle breeze. At the end of the alley stood a small shop with a sign that swung quietly above the door, Marlowe's Curiosities. The wooden letters were faded and worn, but there was a warmth to them, as if inviting her in. Aria hesitated for a moment, glancing around to see if anyone was watching. Then, with a soft exhale, pushed open the door. A little bell jingled above her head, announcing her arrival. The inside of the shop smelled of aged wood, polished metal, and something faintly floral, like dried lavender tucked into corners. The air was calm and slightly cool, almost like stepping into a secret world apart from the city outside. Rows of shelves stretched up toward the ceiling, crowded with curious objects, glass bottles filled with colored sands, brass figurines of birds mid-flight, tiny boxes carved with intricate patterns, and stacks of delicate porcelain. Each item seemed to hum with quiet history, holding stories long forgotten. The shop was dimly lit by a few overhead lamps and the soft glow of candles in tall brass holders, casting gentle shadows that danced along the walls. Aria wandered slowly between the aisles, her fingers brushing lightly against the smooth surfaces of the objects, savoring the sensation of cool glass and polished wood. Her eyes lingered on a small globe, spun delicately by a tiny brass handle, which seemed to shimmer faintly under the flickering candlelight. She found herself smiling softly, There was a strange comfort in being surrounded by things that had been cherished, touched, and cared for over years, perhaps even decades. It was then that she noticed the cabinet. It stood in a corner of the shop, slightly apart from the main aisles, a sturdy piece of dark oak with glass doors that reflected the warm glow of the shop's lights. The cabinet seemed older than the rest of the furnishings, its wood darkened with age and polished smooth by years of careful use. Inside, arranged carefully on soft velvet, were teacups, delicate things, each one unique. Some were painted with tiny flowers, others etched with gold filigree, a few with strange symbols that Aria couldn't recognize, but somehow felt familiar. One teacup, in particular, caught her eye. It was smaller than the others, almost fragile, with a faint pearlescent sheen that made it glow softly in the dim light. There were no painted designs or gold accents, nothing to mark it as special at first glance, yet something about it called to her. It seemed to almost hum faintly, as if it had been waiting for her touch. Aria leaned closer, her breath fogging the glass slightly as she peered inside. The cup was empty, yet she felt a warmth emanating from it, a subtle, almost imperceptible vibration that resonated deep within her chest. She hesitated, unsure if she should reach out, but curiosity won over. She pressed her fingers gently against the cool surface of the cup. The moment she touched it, a shiver ran up her arm, and the cup seemed to pulse softly under her hand. A faint glow spread along the surface, warm and inviting, like sunlight filtered through a cloud. Aria's heart beat faster, a strange mixture of excitement and apprehension curling in her stomach. She withdrew her hand slightly, unsure if what she had felt was real or only a trick of her imagination. From behind the counter, a soft, measured voice spoke. "I see you've found it." Aria turned to see an older man emerging from the shadows between the shelves. His hair was streaked with silver, and his eyes were kind, but held a spark of mischief, as if he knew secrets the world had long forgotten. He wore a simple, dark vest over a cream shirt, sleeves rolled up, showing hands that had clearly worked with delicate things for decades. "The teacup?" Aria asked, glancing back toward the glowing porcelain. "Yes," the man replied, stepping closer. "It doesn't look remarkable, does it? Most people pass it by, and yet there's something about it that finds the ones who need it." He smiled faintly, a knowing curve of his lips. "Some things are patient. They wait for the right person to discover them, and when that moment comes, they reveal themselves." Aria felt a strange thrill, a fluttering of hope mingled with disbelief. "But what does it do?" she asked, softly, unsure if she even wanted to hear the answer. Marlowe's eyes twinkled. "It reveals what the heart holds, but only if the heart is ready to see. That is the secret of this little cup." Aria's fingers lingered on the cup's surface. She felt drawn, as if the cup had whispered to her directly, pulling her closer, inviting her to understand something she couldn't yet name. She didn't know what it would show her, or whether she wanted it to, but the pull was undeniable. Tentatively, she lifted the cup from the velvet lining. It was surprisingly light, almost weightless, yet solid in her hand. She cradled it gently, as if it were something alive, and felt warmth seep into her palms. The glow inside the cup pulsed softly, rhythmic, like a heartbeat. Marlowe watched silently, his expression calm. "Take care with it," he said finally. "This cup doesn't just hold tea. It holds what is too fragile for the ordinary world, and once you touch it, it will become a part of you. Aria nodded, her mind swirling with possibilities. She didn't fully understand what he meant, but there was an unspoken gravity in his words that made her chest tighten in anticipation. She carefully wrapped the cup in a soft cloth the shopkeeper handed her and tucked it into her bag. Every step she took as she left the shop felt heavier and lighter all at once, heavier with the weight of mystery, lighter with the thrill of discovery. Outside, the city's evening noises seemed quieter than before, the street lamps casting a warmer glow than they had moments earlier. Aria walked slowly, savoring the sensation of the cool night air and the soft hum of the cup against her side. She could feel the faint pulse of light even through the cloth, a gentle reminder that something extraordinary had entered her life. She paused at a small bridge overlooking a quiet canal, its surface reflecting the glow of the lanterns like molten gold. The water moved gently, rippling softly as a breeze brushed across its surface. Aria took a deep breath, feeling the calm settle around her. The teacup seemed to pulse in tune with her heartbeat, and for a moment she imagined that the little lights within it were miniature stars, floating and shimmering, holding stories of countless hearts that had touched them before. Aria allowed herself a small, shy smile. There was so much she didn't know yet, so much she could not foresee. But in that quiet moment, standing on the bridge with the cup cradled in her hands, she felt a warmth that had nothing to do with the evening air and everything to do with possibility. She whispered softly to herself, almost as a promise, "I will take care of you." The words barely left her lips when the cup pulsed again, almost as if in response, a gentle, radiant warmth spreading through her palms and up her arms. Aria could feel the hum of its magic, not in the way one would feel heat or pressure, but deep, somewhere in the hollow of the chest, where feelings linger and words cannot reach. She lingered on the bridge for a while longer, watching the lights reflected in the water, listening to the gentle whispers of the city night. Somewhere in her heart, she sensed that this cup was not merely a vessel, it was a doorway, a bridge to something unseen, something extraordinary. By the time she turned to leave, her mind was alight with possibilities, each step along the cobblestones echoing with a quiet sense of destiny. She did not know what she would discover next, what secrets the cup would reveal, or how it would change her life, but she carried it carefully with reverence, feeling the soft pulse of starlight hidden within. The world seemed quieter now, as if holding its breath along with her, waiting for the story to unfold. And Aria, with the teacup cradled in her hands, walked forward into that gentle, shimmering unknown, unaware that the first whisper of starlight had already begun to weave its secret into the fabric of her life. Whisper of starlight. The small apartment Aria returned to was quiet, the kind of quiet that made every creak of the wooden floor and every whisper of wind through the window seem amplified. She set her bag carefully on the table, unwrapping the soft cloth that had protected the teacup. Light from the single lamp in the corner caught the pearlescent sheen of its surface, making it glow faintly, almost as if it were alive. Aria's fingers lingered on its delicate curves, hesitant, as if touching it too firmly might shatter some fragile secret. She poured water into a small kettle, watching as it began to tremble and hiss over the flame. Steam curled upward, filling the room with the warm scent of boiling water. Her mind was restless, thinking of Marlowe's words. The cup revealed what the heart held, if the heart was ready to see. What did that even mean? Was it a tool, a guide, or something far stranger than she could imagine? When the water was ready, she carefully poured it into the cup, her hands steady despite the flutter of excitement in her chest. For a moment, nothing happened, and she almost laughed at herself for expecting magic to appear so suddenly. Then, slowly, almost imperceptibly, tiny lights began to gather in the liquid, shimmering like stars scattered across a dark night sky. Aria leaned closer, her eyes widening. The glow seemed to pulse softly, and she swore she could hear it, a faint, melodic hum that seemed to resonate directly with her heartbeat. She held her breath, afraid to blink and lose the fragile spectacle. It was impossible, she told herself. Tea was tea, and light was light, and yet here it was, hovering within the delicate porcelain, as if some hidden universe had been trapped inside. She lifted the cup carefully to her lips, pausing just before a sip, and then, almost without warning, a soft whisper brushed against her mind, delicate and ethereal, like the rustle of silk against skin. The words were not spoken aloud, yet they were unmistakable. "Look, see what you carry." Aria froze, her heart hammering in her chest. She lowered the cup slowly, eyes scanning the empty room as if someone might be watching. No one was there. The whisper came again, softer this time, more intimate, almost tender. "You are ready." She took a trembling sip. The warmth of the tea spread through her chest, but it was more than heat. It was as if the cup had touched some hidden chamber of her heart, opening it gently to something she hadn't known was waiting. Colors shifted behind her eyelids, soft and swirling, like a painting in motion. She felt a strange, fleeting sadness, followed immediately by a comforting sense of peace, as though memories she hadn't realized she had were surfacing in soft, quiet waves. The cup pulsed again, and with each pulse, the whispers became clearer, weaving through her thoughts like threads of silver. They did not speak in sentences exactly, but in impressions, tiny flashes of feeling, fragments of memory, echoes of longing and joy she had tucked away. A laugh she had forgotten, a quiet sunset she had once watched alone, a tender kindness she had offered without expectation. It was all there, floating in the tea like tiny stars, waiting to be noticed. Aria set the cup down, her fingers brushing against the smooth rim. Her mind was spinning with wonder. She wanted to reach for a pen, to write it all down, but the words felt inadequate. How could one describe something that existed beyond language, beyond the ordinary world? How could she capture the delicate hum of a heartbeat or the glimmer of starlight in her hand? She closed her eyes and let the whispers wash over her, letting the sensations speak without translating them. It was intimate, private, and breathtaking. She understood suddenly why Marlowe had said the cup waits for the right heart. It wasn't magic meant for everyone. It was a mirror, a quiet companion for those who could feel its gentle pulse without fear. Time passed unnoticed. Hours might have gone by, though the sky outside her window had long turned dark. The cup continued to glow faintly, and Aria remained seated, absorbed, discovering pieces of herself she had never realized were missing. There was a small ache of longing in some moments, but always tempered by a soft warmth, as if the cup was reassuring her that all her emotions, joyful or sorrowful, were valid, beautiful even. At one point, she realized she had begun to speak aloud, murmuring fragments of thoughts and memories to the cup, as if it could understand her words. I didn't know, I remembered that, she whispered, her fingers tracing the delicate pattern of the porcelain. And that feeling, I thought I had forgotten it. The cup pulsed again, almost rhythmically, in response. It was as if it recognized her acknowledgement, welcoming her deeper into the subtle language it spoke. Aria felt tears prick at the corners of her eyes, not exactly, but of recognition, of understanding, of something long buried finally coming to light. She stayed like that for what felt like hours, until the quiet in the apartment became heavy, almost too still. Slowly, she set the cup down on the table, resting both hands around it, as if holding a living thing. She took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of the glow seep into her palms, calming the flutter of her heartbeat. Finally, she leaned back in her chair and looked around the room, seeing it with new eyes. Everything seemed sharper, more alive, the soft lamp glow on the walls, the shadows curling along the corners, even the faint hum of the city beyond her window. It was as if the cup had not only shown her something inside, but had altered the very air around her, coloring the world with a quiet magic she could feel in her bones. She thought of Lena, her friend, and wondered how she would react to seeing the cup. Could anyone else perceive the soft whispers, the starlight trapped in porcelain? Or was it truly meant only for her, a secret held gently between her and the cup? The thought both excited and terrified her. Some part of her wanted to share it, to marvel together. But another part, the part that had learned to keep her heart tender, warned her that some things were meant to be held privately, cherished quietly. Watching the lights swirl in response to her touch, she realized she felt a growing sense of responsibility, a careful awareness that this little object, fragile as it seemed, carried something infinitely precious. It was not simply a teacup, not simply a vessel, it was a keeper of moments, a witness to the quiet beauty of emotion, a guide to the heart. Night deepened around her, and the city outside became a tapestry of shadows and light. She placed the cup back on the table, pulling her knees close to her chest as she gazed into the glowing liquid. Her mind wandered, imagining the countless small acts, the hidden joys, and unspoken sorrows that must have contributed to the light within. Each shimmer, she realized, was more than glow, was a memory, a feeling, a heartbeat preserved like a star in a vast, hidden sky. Aria closed her eyes, letting the cup's whispers mingle with her own thoughts. She felt both exhilarated and comforted, as if she had stumbled upon a secret that had always existed, waiting patiently for someone to notice. She understood, in a way that words could not capture, that her life would be subtly altered by this discovery. There was a gravity here, yes, but it was soft, not heavy, an invitation to explore the hidden corners of her heart and the quiet magic of the world around her. The lamp flickered softly as a draft brushed through the room, and the cup pulsed in time with her breathing. She smiled, a small, shy smile that held both awe and gratitude. The whispers of Starlight, she realized, had not only spoken to her, they had seen her, accepted her, welcomed her into a gentle mystery that was entirely her own. As Aria finally rose from her chair to fetch a blanket, her gaze lingered on the cup. She did not know what the future held or what secrets it would reveal next, but she knew with a certainty that settled warmly in her chest that this night, the first night with the teacup in her hands, would be remembered forever. The quiet magic it held was no longer distant or imagined. It was here, tangible, breathing, alive, and it had chosen her. She wrapped herself in the blanket, cradling the cup gently, and whispered softly, almost in awe, "I don't know what you will show me, but I'll be ready." And as she sat there, in the stillness of her apartment, the lights within the teacup shimmered and danced, tiny stars trapped in porcelain, quietly waiting for her to see, to understand, and to believe. Time passed in a gentle, unmeasured way, and Aria let herself simply exist in that moment, letting the whispers of Starlight speak to her heart, letting the quiet magic seep into her bones. She felt a soft, exhilarating sense of possibility, the kind that comes when one glimpses a secret too beautiful for words. Outside, the city slept, unaware of the tiny universe glowing in the hands of a young woman named Aria, and she, too, slept with eyes open in wonder, ready for the first whispers of the secrets yet to come. A secret shared. The morning light streamed softly through Aria's window, casting pale golden beams across her small apartment. The teacup sat on the table, still faintly glowing, its light mingling with the sun's rays in a gentle dance. Aria traced her fingers along the delicate porcelain, feeling the warmth that lingered even after the night's quiet revelations. Today, she had decided, she would share the cup with someone she trusted, someone who could appreciate the quiet magic without trying to take it away. Her mind immediately went to Lena. Lena was her friend in ways that mattered most, patient, observant, and kind. She had a way of noticing little details, of reading emotions hidden beneath words and gestures. And Aria knew that if anyone could understand, it would be her. Yet, as she prepared to call Lena over, a flutter of hesitation filled her chest. What if Lena didn't believe her? What if the cup didn't respond the same way for anyone else? Aria's fingers lingered on the rim, tracing invisible patterns in the porcelain. She took a deep breath, feeling a mixture of anticipation and nervousness. The cup had been a secret companion for her, a gentle confidant that revealed the hidden rhythms of her heart. Could she trust someone else with it? She shook off the doubt. Lena had always been a careful soul, and if the cup's magic could trust her, she knew Lena's heart would be ready. Picking up her bag, she carefully wrapped the cup in soft cloth once more, holding it against her chest as she made her way to Lena's apartment. The streets were quiet, the city just beginning to stir with the low hum of early activity. Each step made her heart beat faster, not with fear, but with an eagerness she hadn't realized she could feel. When Lena opened the door, her hair still damp from a morning shower and her eyes bright with curiosity. Aria felt a surge of relief. "Lena," she said softly, holding out the bag. I want to show you something." Lena raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Oh, something important?" Aria nodded, her fingers trembling slightly as she set the bag on the small table between them. With careful hands, she unwrapped the cloth to reveal the teacup. Even in the daylight, it shimmered faintly, a soft, pearlescent glow radiating from its surface. Lena leaned forward, her eyes widening as she took in the delicate curves of the porcelain and the almost imperceptible light that seemed to pulse within. It's beautiful," Lena whispered. Her fingers hovered over the rim but did not touch it. "But what does it do?" Aria swallowed, her own breath catching. She had rehearsed no words for this moment. It shows things," she said, finally, hesitant. "Not exactly things you can see, but feelings, memories, moments, little pieces of the heart. I think it listens." Lena tilted her head, fascinated. "Listens?" "Yes," Aria said, lifting the cup and pouring in some tea. As the liquid settled, tiny lights began to swirl, shimmering like captured starlight, and Lena's eyes followed each flicker in awe. A soft hum filled the air, faint yet unmistakable, like a melody too delicate for words. Lena's mouth opened slightly, and she breathed out, "Oh wow." Aria felt a wave of relief at her friend's reaction. She had feared disbelief or doubt, but Lena's awe was gentle, accepting, full of wonder. Do you feel it?" Aria asked, softly, her own fingers curling round the cup. Lena nodded slowly. It's like it's alive, like it's trying to speak, but not in words. I can feel it, like a heartbeat." The cup pulsed gently in Aria's hands, almost in agreement, and she realized that the magic was not diminished by sharing it. On the contrary, it seemed to respond to Lena's presence, shimmering brighter, swirling more vividly. Aria smiled, a quiet, grateful smile. She had feared losing the intimacy of her secret, but instead, they sat together in silence, watching the lights dance in the cup. Aria let Lena take it in, careful not to rush the experience, and Lena leaned closer, her face illuminated by the soft glow. She whispered, "It's like seeing a piece of your soul, and maybe pieces of all the moments that made you, you." Aria nodded, feeling a lump in her throat. "Yes, that's exactly it. I didn't understand it at first. I thought it was just magic, something strange and beautiful, but now I think it's more than that. It's gentle, honest. It doesn't lie. It just shows." Lena reached out, hesitating, and lightly brushed the edge of the cup. A ripple of warmth spread into her fingers, and the lights swirled in response. Her eyes widened further. It likes me," she said softly, almost in disbelief. Aria laughed quietly, a soft, relieved sound. "I think it does, but I think it only shows what's already in you. It doesn't create it, just reflects." The two friends spent the morning like that, taking turns, holding the cup, watching the tiny lights shift and pulse, speaking softly to it and to each other in a language that needed no words. Each time Lena held it, Aria could see the wonder in her eyes, the quiet awe that mirrored her own from the first night. And with every shared moment, the cup seemed to grow warmer, as if it too was comforted by companionship, by trust, by the simple act of hearts meeting in quiet understanding. At one point, Lena whispered, "I feel memories, things I've forgotten, moments I didn't think were important, but seeing them now, it's like they matter again. Aria nodded, feeling tears prick at the corners of her eyes. Yes, that's exactly it. All the little moments, the things that make up who we are, there and here. That's the secret. That's why I had to be careful with it. It's fragile, not the cup itself, but what it shows. Lena looked at her with a gentle, knowing smile. I'll keep it safe, I promise. The words felt heavier than a promise between friends. They were a vow, not of ownership, but of respect. Aria realized that the trust she had placed in Lena was returned tenfold, not in possession, but in understanding, in shared wonder. She felt the soft warmth of the cup in her hands, pulsing gently, a quiet heartbeat that matched her own. The afternoon passed in gentle conversation, punctuated by silences filled with quiet magic. Aria and Lena spoke of small things, tea leaves, soft memories, the shapes of clouds in the sky, but always returning to the cup, always circling back to the tiny universe it held. Aria realized that the cup was teaching her more than she had imagined. It was teaching her patience, attentiveness, and the art of noticing, of cherishing small wonders without needing to name or control them. As the sun began to dip low, casting long shadows across the apartment, Lena finally set the cup down, her hands lingering near it, as if reluctant to let it go. "Thank you for sharing it with me," she said softly. "It's more than I expected." Aria smiled, feeling a calm joy she had not known before. "Thank you for understanding it," she replied. "It needed someone like you today, someone who could see without trying to change it." The cup pulsed one final time as evening settled outside, the glow softening into a gentle shimmer. Aria and Lena sat together, side by side, letting the magic linger, quiet and steady, like a secret folded gently between them. When Lena finally left, Aria wrapped the cup once more in the soft cloth, placing it carefully back in her bag. She felt lighter, calmer, filled with a sense of quiet satisfaction. She had shared her secret, and it had not been broken. It had grown, expanded in trust and care, and she knew that this was only the beginning. For the first time, she understood that magic was not just in the cup, but in the connection it fostered, in the trust, the silence, and the shared wonder. It was a whisper of starlight, delicate and infinite, carried not by porcelain alone, but by the hearts that could see it. And as Aria walked home through the soft glow of the city evening, she held the cup close, feeling the faint pulse of light against her chest, knowing that tomorrow would bring more whispers, more starlight, and perhaps new secrets waiting quietly to be shared again. The cup's lesson. The morning sun crept softly through the blinds, painting golden stripes across Aria's small apartment. She sat at her table, the teacup carefully placed before her, its faint glow barely visible in the daylight. Even without pouring tea into it, she could feel its quiet pulse, like a heartbeat waiting to be understood. Over the past days, the cup had become more than an object. It had become a companion, a gentle mirror that reflected pieces of herself she had never noticed, never dared to acknowledge. Aria reached out, cradling the cup in her hands. The surface was smooth and warm, almost responsive, as if it recognized her touch. She thought of Lena, of the shared moments from yesterday, and realized how much trust and understanding had strengthened not just their bond, but the magic itself. The cup was alive in its own way, but it was not independent of her. It reflected her heart, her curiosity, her quiet wonder, and now, with Lena's presence woven into the experience, the reflections felt richer, deeper. Pouring tea into the cup, she watched as the liquid shimmered with tiny lights, delicate sparks swirling slowly, tracing paths that seemed to mirror her thoughts. Each movement of the lights felt purposeful, almost like the cup was guiding her. Attention, teaching her to notice the subtle emotions that ran beneath the surface of her everyday life. As she held the cup, she realized something extraordinary. The cup did not reveal what others were hiding, as she had first wondered. It revealed her own heart. The little bursts of light corresponded to feelings she had long buried, the happiness she felt on quiet mornings like this, the small pangs of longing for things she had lost or left behind, the gentle satisfaction of unnoticed acts of kindness. Each sparkle was a fragment of her own being, gently illuminated for her to see. Aria closed her eyes, letting the warmth of the cup settle against her palms. She remembered the time she had offered her seat to an elderly woman on the crowded bus, the brief smile they had exchanged, almost forgotten until now. A tiny light flickered within the cup, bright and persistent, and she understood that the cup had remembered. Then came the memory of a quiet evening spent writing in her journal, the satisfaction of a sentence that perfectly captured her feelings. Another spark shimmered in response. It was not just joy that the cup revealed. A faint sadness appeared as well, a gentle, shimmering shadow that reminded her of moments of loneliness, of lost opportunities, of words left unsaid. But even in that sadness, there was beauty, a quiet reminder that these feelings were part of her, and that acknowledging them did not diminish their worth. The cup taught her that every emotion, no matter how small or fleeting, was precious, and that even sorrow carried a quiet luminescence when observed with care. Aria let out a soft breath, feeling tears prick at her eyes. She had always feared confronting the more tender parts of herself, the memories and feelings she considered too delicate, too fragile. Yet the cup did not judge or criticize. It only reflected. It was patient, waiting for her to notice, waiting for her to understand. She realized, with a gentle astonishment, that the cup was teaching her the most important lesson of all, that her own heart, in all its quiet complexity, was worthy of attention and care. Hours passed unnoticed as she sat there, absorbed in the delicate dance of lights within the cup. Aria traced her finger along the rim, feeling a subtle vibration, almost like a sigh of recognition. She began to whisper to herself, naming memories and emotions as they appeared. That moment, that small kindness, that quiet joy, I see you. With each acknowledgement, the lights pulsed brighter, as though the cup itself were pleased with her understanding. She experimented cautiously, focusing on different feelings, allowing herself to revisit old memories she had tucked away. The tiny starlight sparks shifted and swirled differently with each emotion. When she recalled a particularly joyous afternoon spent helping a neighbor in need, The cup glowed with a warm, steady radiance. When she remembered a time of regret, a soft, cooler shimmer rippled through the liquid, not harsh or judgmental, but delicate and honest. Aria realized that the cup was not just showing her what she had felt. It was teaching her to recognize and honor her own emotions. It was a gentle mirror, a guide that helped her understand herself more fully, without fear or shame. She marveled at the simplicity and depth of this lesson, recognizing that in the quiet magic of the teacup, she had found a safe space to explore the heart's hidden corners. The afternoon light shifted, soft shadows stretching across the room, and Aria continued to sit quietly, letting the cup's subtle glow wash over her. She felt a sense of calm she had not known before, a steady assurance that her emotions were valid, important, and beautiful. The cup's lesson was clear. Every spark, every tiny shimmer was a part of her, and every part deserved to be seen, understood, and cherished. She smiled softly, feeling a growing sense of gratitude for the gentle magic in her hands. For the first time, she allowed herself to fully embrace the quiet beauty of her own heart, letting the cup's whispers guide her without fear or hesitation. Each sparkle was a revelation, a quiet affirmation of the richness of her inner world. By evening, Aria placed the cup back on the table, her hands lingering over it in a tender gesture. She felt lighter, more attuned to herself, and more aware of the subtle, hidden wonders in her own life. The cup had revealed not secrets of others, but the hidden luminescence of her own being. It had taught her to notice, to care, and to honor the quiet, often overlooked moments that shaped her. She leaned back in her chair, gazing at the lights that shimmered faintly even without tea in the cup, and whispered softly, "I understand now. You are not just magic. You are a guide, and I will learn from you, one quiet spark at a time." As the sky outside darkened into the gentle hues of twilight, Aria felt a deep connection, not only to the cup, but to herself. The lesson it had imparted was simple, yet profound, that the heart, in all its quiet complexity, was a universe of starlight waiting to be seen, and that to recognize it was to honor the essence of who she truly was. She held the cup close, feeling the faint pulse of warmth, and let herself be still, knowing that the journey of understanding her own heart had only just begun. The whispers of starlight were patient, eternal, and infinitely gentle, promising that every discovery, every lesson, and every spark would continue to unfold in its own time. Aria finally allowed herself a soft smile, the kind that comes from quiet revelation. She understood that the cup's true gift was not in showing her what she had experienced, but in teaching her how to feel it fully, to see it without fear, and to cherish it with quiet reverence. And so, in the calm of her apartment, with the teacup glowing softly before her, Aria began to learn the true rhythm of her own heart, guided by the gentle pulse of starlight trapped in delicate porcelain. Heart of the teacup. The evening sky was painted in soft shades of lavender and gold as Aria sat by her window, the city quieting beneath the gentle descent of twilight. The teacup rested on the small table before her, faintly glowing even in the dimming light. Over the past days, it had become more than a vessel for Teat, had become a companion, a mirror, and a teacher. Tonight, however, it seemed to beckon her more insistently, as if promising a revelation she had not yet fully understood. Aria poured a small amount of steaming tea into the cup, the liquid shimmering with the familiar starlight-like sparkles. She held it in her hands, feeling the warmth seep gently into her palms. She remembered Lena's eyes, wide with wonder, and Marlowe's quiet, knowing smile, and realized that the cup had touched more than her own heart, unseen fabric of her life. As she gazed into the swirling lights, she noticed something new. The tiny sparks seemed to gather in clusters, each one distinct yet connected, forming patterns that felt both familiar and intimate. They were not random. They were memories, feelings, moments she had treasured or longed to forget. Each shimmer held a story, a fragment of her past that had shaped the person she had become. A smile curved softly on her lips as she recognized the moments, the small kindnesses she had offered without expectation. The laughter shared with Lena on rainy afternoons, the quiet evenings spent reading by candlelight. Even the sorrows appeared, gentle shadows among the light, reminding her of times she had stumbled, of choices that had carried weight and regret. But the cup did not judge. It displayed everything with the same gentle glow, as if affirming that each moment, joyful or painful, was a precious thread in the tapestry of her life. Aria traced her finger along the rim of the cup, feeling a pulse, a quiet heartbeat that seemed to synchronize with her own. The realization settled softly in her chest. The cup was not magic in the way she had first imagined. It did not grant wishes, nor did it reveal secrets of the world. It held something far more profound. It held the essence of what it meant to feel, to remember, to live fully, even in small, quiet moments. She let herself sink into the experience, closing her eyes and letting the lights guide her. The starlight flickered with memories she had long tucked away, the first time she had felt true awe, standing beneath a sky full of stars, the unexpected comfort of a stranger's smile, the warmth of her mother's hands when she was a child. Each spark was a heartbeat, a gentle reminder that life was not measured solely by grand events, but by the countless, subtle moments that made her who she was. Tears blurred her vision, soft and warm, and she realized she had never truly seen herself before, not like this, not with such tender clarity. The cup reflected her heart, but it also reflected the beauty she had overlooked, the quiet courage she had shown, and the infinite capacity for love and empathy she carried within her. Each sparkle was proof, a tiny star affirming that even in the mundane, there was magic, there was meaning, she whispered to herself, barely audible. It's all of me, all the little pieces, together, beautiful. The cup pulsed in her hands, almost as if in agreement, and Aria felt a profound sense of peace settle over her. She understood now that the true heart of the teacup was not its glow, nor the delicate porcelain, nor even the tea she poured into it. Unspoken affirmation that every experience, every feeling, and every memory mattered. The cup had held her starlight all along, patiently waiting for her to see it. For hours, she allowed herself to explore, revisiting each memory, each emotion, letting the light guide her understanding. Moments of joy sparked brightly, flaring with intensity. while memories tinged with sadness glimmered softly like distant stars that still held warmth despite their distance. Aria realized that even the smallest feelings, fleeting doubts, minor regrets, tiny acts of kindness were threads in the same luminous tapestry. The cup taught her that nothing she felt was insignificant, that every heartbeat contributed to the light within. The city outside shifted into night, streetlights flickering on and casting long reflections on the window pane. Aria sat in quiet wonder, the cup cradled gently in her hands, feeling the pulse of her own life mirrored in its glow. She thought of Lena and Marlowe, of the shared trust and quiet companionship that had allowed the cup to reveal its magic so fully. She understood now that the cup was not only a reflection of her heart, it was also a bridge, connecting the delicate, unseen moments of life to the world. If only one paid attention, a soft knock at the door pulled her from the reverie, and she smiled softly, though she did not move immediately. The cup pulsed faintly in her hands, a subtle reassurance, and she realized that the world beyond her apartment was still part of the magic, still waiting for her to engage with it gently and fully. It was a reminder that the lessons of the cup did not end when the tea was poured, or when the lights dimmed. They were woven into every quiet moment, every act of attention, every heartbeat. Aria set the cup on the table, letting it shimmer gently, and felt a renewed sense of purpose. She understood that life's beauty was not always loud or obvious. Often, it was hidden in small gestures, in whispered moments, in the faint glow of starlight trapped in porcelain. And she, now aware, could honor it, carry it, and nurture it within herself. As night fully settled, Aria finally leaned back in her chair, gazing at the cup. She felt a profound gratitude for its lesson, for its quiet insistence that she see herself fully, without fear or judgment. The cup had become more than a vessel. It had become a teacher, a guide, and a gentle reminder that every life, every heart, and every memory contained its own starlight. And as the lights within the cup pulsed softly, echoing the rhythm of her own heartbeat, Aria whispered into the quiet room, "Thank you for showing me." She let herself rest then, cradling the cup nearby, letting the warmth seep into her, feeling the steady glow of the stars it held, and understanding that the heart of the teacup was not just in the magic it displayed, but in the quiet truth it had revealed, that the essence of life, the truest magic, was already inside her all along. The light shared the morning light filtered softly through Aria's window, painting her apartment in warm hues of gold and amber. The teacup rested on the table, its gentle glow mingling with the sunlight, as though welcoming the day in quiet harmony. Over the past days, it had guided her through a journey of discovery, reflection, and understanding. Now, Aria felt ready to take the next step, not just to hold the cup close, but to allow its gentle magic to touch the lives of those she cared about. She thought first of Lena. Their shared experience had been transformative. revealing emotions and memories that were sometimes hard to face alone. The cup had been a bridge, allowing trust and friendship to deepen in ways Aria hadn't expected. And while Marlowe had introduced her to this quiet magic, Lena had helped her realize that some wonders were meant to be shared quietly, tenderly, without diminishing their mystery. Aria poured tea into the cup one final time, watching the familiar starlight swirl within. She held it carefully, feeling the pulse of warmth and light, and allowed herself a soft smile. It was strange, almost miraculous, that something so small could carry such significance. Yet, the cup had taught her that the most profound magic often lived in small, intimate moments, unnoticed by the world at large. The day unfolded in gentle rhythms. Aria invited Lena over once more, and together they sat by the window, watching the starlight shimmer in the cup as sunlight shifted across the room. They shared quiet conversation, each word measured and thoughtful, as if the cup itself had taught them the art of listening and being present. Lena reached out, her fingers hovering over the porcelain, and whispered softly, "It's beautiful. It feels like hope." Aria nodded, feeling the resonance of Lena's words deep within her chest. "Yes, it is. And it's ours to care for, not to show to the world, but to honor." The cup pulsed gently in response, as though acknowledging the shared understanding. In that moment, Aria realized that magic did not need to be loud or dramatic to be meaningful. Its power lay in subtlety and connection, in awareness, in the quiet act of holding something precious and letting it illuminate the heart. As the afternoon passed, Aria reflected on all she had learned. The cup had shown her the full spectrum of her own emotions: joy, wonder, kindness, sorrow, and longing. It had reminded her that even the smallest acts of compassion and courage left a lasting imprint, and that the heart itself was a universe of starlight, waiting to be noticed and cherished. She realized, too, that the cup's gift was not only in revealing her own heart, but in teaching her how to hold it gently and how to honor the hearts of others. The warmth it radiated was not a magic that could be possessed. It was a reminder that love, care, and empathy were the true luminescence in life. As evening fell, Aria carefully placed the cup back on the table, its glow soft and steady. She felt a sense of completeness, a gentle satisfaction that came not from accomplishment, but from understanding. She had been entrusted with something delicate and extraordinary, and she had learned how to nurture it, how to let it guide her, and how to share its light in the quietest ways. Lena lingered by the table, her gaze thoughtful and serene. "It's more than a cup, isn't it?" she asked softly. "Yes," Aria replied, her voice filled with quiet conviction. "It's a reminder, a teacher, a keeper of everything precious, and now I think it's ready to help us see the light we already carry inside ourselves." The two friends sat together in the warm glow, the city outside fading into the gentle quiet of night. The cup pulsed faintly, as if in agreement, a silent affirmation that the lessons it had imparted were now part of their hearts. They did not need to speak. The understanding was complete, shared through the rhythm of starlight and the soft hum of trust. Later, as Aria prepared for the evening, she felt a calm certainty settle over her. She knew that the cup's magic was not limited to her. Alone it was a quiet light that could guide, reflect, and heal, but only if treated with care and respect. She would continue to honor it, allowing its whispers to shape her days without rushing or forcing its revelation. It was a companion, a gentle reminder that life itself was composed of delicate, luminous moments waiting to be noticed. Finally, she wrapped the cup carefully in its soft cloth and placed it on a high shelf, where it could remain safe and undisturbed. She glanced at it one last time, the faint glow reaching out like a promise. It had shown her the beauty of her own heart, the quiet brilliance of the world around her, and the deep strength that came from trust, love, and shared understanding. Aria took a deep breath, her chest light, her mind serene. She felt the gentle pulse of the cup resonate within her, a quiet, steady rhythm that would accompany her in all the days to come. The starlight within porcelain had revealed not only the secrets of her own heart, but the enduring truth that the most extraordinary magic is found in seeing, feeling, and cherishing the small wonders of life. She closed her eyes and whispered softly, "Thank you for everything." The cup pulsed once more, faint and steady, and Aria smiled, knowing that its light and the lessons it carried would remain with her always. Outside, the city slept beneath a canopy of stars, and inside, the quiet warmth of starlight lingered, a testament to the beauty of reflection, the power of trust, and the enduring magic of a heart fully seen and gently shared. Take a deep breath and let yourself sink fully into this moment. Feel the calm spreading through your body, soft and steady, like a gentle wave. Allow your thoughts to drift away, leaving only quiet peace behind. Notice the stillness around you, the subtle rhythm of your breath, the gentle rise and fall of your chest. There is nothing to do, nowhere to go, simply be here, fully present, embraced by calm. Let this quiet warmth fill your mind and heart, carrying with it a sense of ease and serenity. Slowly, gently, carry this feeling with you as the day ends or as you drift into rest. And when you are ready, open your eyes, bringing this quiet peace with you, letting it linger softly like a gentle light that stays even after the moment has passed.